Oh, it's working. My webcam is working again. It was not working before, and it's working now. That's good. Hey. Did you actually alert, or is you just going off of the fact that I told you I was going live? I've been meaning to go live for like 3 days. I was going to go live yesterday, believe it or not. I thought about going live yesterday. That would have been awkward. Hey. I had tossed around going live yesterday. That would have been something. Hey, I'm going to start it over here. So, hold on. There we go. So yeah, I've been very agitated today because seeing the things that people are writing on these videos is so frustrating. Hey everybody. It's so frustrating to see the things that people are writing on these videos. They're like, oh, well, Kentucky voted for this. 66% of Kentucky did, I guess, if you want to go that route, but 35% did not. And I'm pretty sure that the tornado didn't check voting registration before it plowed into houses. I mean, just a thought. But, I think that that's people that are getting on these and they're like, oh yeah, Kentucky's in the fuck around and find out phase. Not everybody voted for Doge cuts. Not everybody voted to cut whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got it live on TikTok too. Hey. Well, okay, so here's the problem. When Doge cut a bunch of stuff, they cut a lot of stuff dealing with the weather situation, the weather stuff. And so basically what happened in Jackson County, where a lot of this was, is there wasn't a supervisor on at the weather place that could have upgraded and put the word out better and made it more into an emergency, I guess, from what I'm gathering. I was watching on Midas Touch and I saw a couple other people's things. And apparently, yes, we were getting, I got messages on my phone, but it was very, very bizarre in how things happened because like I got a message on my phone about for every message I got, my husband got 2. So my husband was getting twice as many alerts. His watch was going off. He got literally probably over twice the amount of alerts that I did. So people are like, and a lot of the different videos I'm seeing, people were not even getting phone alerts. I've had people arguing with me in videos, in my videos and other people's videos, arguing with me that sirens went off. I don't know how much more plainly. I mean, I realize that I live in a state full of idiots. Okay. I realize this. I definitely realize it now. But what I'm telling you is there is one siren in all of London, Kentucky. One siren, and it is downtown. Okay. I looked it up. There is one siren downtown. Okay. Where this tornado hit was 2.6 miles from my door to a half a mile to my door. So it was like the biggest amount of that London saw was about a 2-ish mile radius on the way to my house. Okay. And I can tell you that after I got the first alert on my phone, we went out there and we opened up all the windows. We opened up all the windows because we were trying to wait to see, because we were like, the alerts in Kentucky are fucking weird. They're just weird. Okay. They are weird. And like, I will get messages saying that that I'm under a flood warning at least 4 times a week. Not even kidding. Okay. So we never know what is legit and what isn't. That's part of the reason why when Kentucky drowned 2 years ago, that's why, because we get flood. I got one last night that I had a flood warning last night and it barely rained here. So we were waiting. When we first got the alert, we were sitting here. It wasn't even storming. It wasn't raining. It wasn't nothing. Hey, we were sitting here. We were playing a game. I was right here. There's my TV right here. Okay. We were playing a game. And my phone goes off and it says that there's a tornado warning. And I looked, I was like, there's a tornado warning. Like, it wasn't thundering, it wasn't raining, it wasn't nothing. There was nothing going on. There was no big deal to be had. We saw some lightning out there, but that's all the time, that's not a big deal. So I start getting paranoid, and I look down, and it says that, there's a tornado warning. It's been spotted in Somerset, and it included our area. And I'm like, all right, well, Somerset is about 30 miles away. I'm not going to stress right now. Oh, thank you. Somerset is about 30 miles that direction. I'm sure it'll peter out by the time it gets to us. Okay. So I'm nervous, but I'm like, all right, it's 30 miles away. It won't be that bad. Well, I didn't bother to read the fact it said it was 13 miles east of Somerset. So that still gave us about 15 miles. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm sure. So then we start watching the radar, and the radar showed where it was going to come up and then go up over us. So the tornado was supposed to, if we were going off the one in Somerset, it was supposed to come towards us and then head up, and we were going to be fine. So we're watching the radar, and I'm watching the radar, like I'm staring at this radar, okay? Because my husband thinks everything's a fucking joke all the time. He doesn't believe in tornadoes. Like, he's obsessed with tornadoes, and he doesn't think that they're ever going to hit us. But anyways, so I'm watching this radar, and I'm like obsessively refreshing the radar. And I get in, and then his phone kept going off, mine wasn't, and then I would get one, and we got one, and it said mobile homes will be destroyed. This is a life altering event. You need to take shelter. And so, like, at this point, I'm getting very nervous. It's, again, there's not really a lot of storm to be had. So it was weird. It was weird that we were under a warning and like not a lot of stuff was going on. So we open up the windows and we're listening. He's sitting next to the window. He literally goes out in there and he is sitting next to the window. And I will tell you, for every person that came into my video or another person's video telling me how, well, I heard the sirens went off. Then A, you are in downtown London. You are nowhere near the fucking tornado and you have zero fucking idea. Yeah. It was, I can walk to the wreckage. I live right next to Oaks by London. Oaks of London. I can walk to it. And, so there was nothing. And so we don't hear a siren. We don't hear nothing. I'm watching this radar, and then all of a sudden our electric goes out. So now I can't do nothing. I can't watch the radar. My phone, I stopped getting alerts. My husband's getting some on his watch, but they're being really weird. So he's sitting next to the window, and I'm hearing weird stuff outside. I keep thinking I'm hearing stuff. I don't know if I'm hearing it, but I feel like I'm hearing it. I was listening for the freight train sound, honestly. And I thought at one point I heard it, and I kept going, what are you listening for? What are you listening for? And I was hearing this like weird noise, but I thought I was, losing my mind or whatever. So then it got really quiet, and the dog started acting really weird. The dog started barking, and that kind of creeped me out. And then he was sitting next to the window, and he starts leaning towards the window. And I'm like, what are you listening for? Because like, I'm thinking I'm hearing something, but like, I think I'm paranoid. So all of a sudden he goes, "Yup, that's it. Get in the shower." I had a blanket with me, and I had a big king size comforter. I grabbed my old geriatric dog because it's dark. We can't see. There's no lights. I grabbed my geriatric dog, and he shoves me into the shower, and tells me he can't fit in there with me in a typical Titanic Jack and Rose situation. I told him to get the hell in the damn shower. So he steps in there for a second. It's me, Sissy, and him. And he wrapped the shower stall with the blanket. So he sticks his head outside of the shower stall, and he goes, "Oh, maybe it was just the rain I heard. Maybe it was just the rain. Because now it's raining." And he goes, and then his alarm went off. And so I look, and he goes, "Okay, well, it was 11:54." And he goes, I'd been in there for about I got in there probably about 10 to 12. And at 5 to 12, it said that it was over at midnight. And I said, "Well, it's over in 5 minutes. We're fine." And then it went off again, and it said 12:30. And I was like, well, that sucks. It ended up going till 1. We never even got all clear. Well, come to find out, after this morning when I wake up, I didn't have electric until about 4 hours ago. Um, my mother-in-law messages me and says, "There's people dead in your county. Are you okay?" And I'm like, "What?" And so I leave my house because I don't have any internet, I don't have any power. And I was like, well, I'm gonna take some stuff back to Kohl's and see if what's going on in town. Well, I pull up the article and it says where the path was. Now it did say it was going to hit Levi Jackson State Park, which is a mile from my house, about a mile and a half from my house. And it did. It hit it. It hit it really good. And that was the first thing that I saw when I drove through there, and it was really, really bad. And I thought that was it. I was like, how could people have died? It hit the park. It's not a big deal. Well, I didn't go through the whole subdivision over there. We ended up going through that later. And so oh God, I just like totally spaced. Where am I at here? Okay. So she tells me that like people have died, and I get out and I'm like, well, Kohl's was closed because they didn't have any power. A lot of places didn't have power. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to go drive down through the state park and see how it looks like. Well, the state park was not okay. And I'm amped up. I'm like, okay, well, hit the state park. Everybody's okay. Like I hit some trees, whatever. I get my husband, who has now driven himself to the gas station so he can call his mother because we have no electricity or whatever, and we can't make a phone call. And I said, hey, I want to show you the state park. So I get in his car and we drive through the state park. Well, he goes, oh my God, we get to where I didn't turn right last time. So we was looking straight and he goes, oh my God, what's over there? And I said, I don't know, drive over there. That's where everything hit. And that's where that video's from. And there's more videos than just that. I actually had more videos. I only posted the one. We went back in the worst part of it, and you guys seen the video. The video is awful. It was way worse in person. And when we went to leave, we just found this out. I haven't even told you guys about this. You're just now going to find this out. So when we went to leave, we accidentally got in the right turn lane instead of the straight turn lane because we were going to go back through the park to go home, and we had to turn right. And my husband goes, well, I'm just going to, I'll turn around in the pet store parking lot. And I was like, don't do that. It's all backed. He goes, no, I'm going to go to 1189. And I was like, don't do that. It's already backed up. Just turn around right here and we'll turn around. So he turns around. If we would have went 0.2 of a fucking mile down, our pet store was demolished. And I did not know this until a couple of hours ago, where I just got my birds last week. The pet store was taken out. And people were apparently last night, a lot of people ran there and was trying to get everybody together. All the birds ended up, a bunch of their birds ended up missing. And there's actually a video of somebody that was going through in the store trying to put everything in cages, and they were finding dogs and ferrets. And there was fish tanks knocked over, and there was hamster cages that were smashed, and they were getting lizards and putting them in containers. And the room where I had just bought these birds 3 days ago was just, the cages were knocked over. They have some big parrots and macaws. They still haven't found 2 of them. They found one of their animals. It was deceased. They have managed to find most of them. And if we would have went 0.2 of a mile down, we would have seen that the store was decimated. We did not know that. I found that out through Facebook a couple of hours ago. And we were driving through the area, and we were probably where we shouldn't be. I mean, to be fair, we were driving. We probably had no business going where we were going, but morbid curiosity, I guess. I don't know. I was in shock. We were driving, and there was a kid, I don't know, maybe 20 something, and he's just picking up sticks. And he's just got a bundle of sticks. And I just looked at him. I said, I am so sorry. And he was like, it's okay. And people are just standing around. Like, everybody was just standing. Like, that was one of the things that stuck out to me, is people were just standing. Like, nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew, like, one of the things that's going to stick out to me, and I'm like going to have nightmares about this, is there was a house, and it was like one of my models. It was like the walls were just cut off. And inside was a pristine living room. There was a couch and tables. it wasn't dirty. There was nothing on it. It looked like somebody had just cut the wall and removed it. And I was looking inside of this house that I had no business looking inside of. And I mean, and then like in all the disaster films, like I'm driving by these houses and you see the X's and the times and the X's and the times. And I realized by looking at them, like he had shoved me in that shower at about 10 to midnight. And it was saying by the times on there, it was saying 11:35 and I heard 11:49. So he really did. He thought he was hearing rain afterwards, but when he had me go into that shower stall, it was because he really did hear something. Oi! And that is like terrifying because I kept thinking I was hearing stuff, but I thought I was paranoid. And I mean, I still could have been paranoid for all I know. But he was like, he's one of those people, like, he will, the last time that we had something happen with Tornado, he wanted to go stand outside and watch. And he was just sitting there, and all of a sudden, he just said, real serious, he's like, all right, get in the shower. It's time. You got to go. And that, for me, was like a lot because he's not one of those people who would ever really admit that. We're supposed to get more storms on Wednesday. Yeah, I heard that, like, we're having a break, and then we're having more storms. That's perfect. That's great. But there was all these people and they're just like, it was nice to see there was with each section of people, there was a lot of section of people. Does that make sense? So like if you drove by a house, there was like 6 people. And if you drove by another house, there was 10 people. It was like people had their people. And that made me feel better because there was community. There was a sense of, for every time you saw somebody standing outside, they weren't alone, which made me like, I told my husband, I'm like, I want to get out of the car and help people like right now. Like I want to get out of the car and just start helping people move stuff or something like, and there was, they took the high school is housing some of the people. There was a couple churches getting stuff together. There was, there's a couple different places where it was saying like free food and things like that. Like with us, we just didn't have any electricity and we didn't want to lose the stuff in the freezer. So we were not opening, we had no way to cook. So we went and grabbed some food at Arby's because we didn't have electricity or whatever. But these people actually had no houses. And you know, it was one thing when I went through Levi and it was, when I went through Levi and it was, you know, bad, but it was like, it had hit a gym and a little bit of a store and a little building. And I was like, okay, well, I don't see, you know, where this was that bad. And it was close and it was, you know, exciting because like, it wasn't a big deal. But then when you get over to where there was just devastation, I was sobbing the entire time. You can hear me in that video and I'm crying because like, it was a lot. It was too much. Okay. If we'd been sitting here and there'd been like a really bad storm, I could have maybe understood it, but we were sitting here just like I'm talking to you right now. And there was some lightning outside. And then it just said tornado warning. And I thought it was a fluke. I literally thought it was a fluke. Thank you. I thought it was a fluke. And then I got this, like, it was like mobile homes will be destroyed. This is like life altering. And I'm like, okay, this is bizarre. Like, why would, like, this is like over the top. And I told my husband, I said, well, I want to drive. I want to go somewhere safe. Do I know the names of the churches gathering things for residents? There's one on Fifth Street. I don't know the name of the church, but it's on Fifth Street by Hope. He's trucking tonight. Yes, he was actually home last night. He was actually home with me. Thank God. I'm on Ryan Lee TM on YouTube, by the way. Please go give me a subscribe. So he was home last night, and but it didn't do me any good because I wanted to leave. I wanted to go, you know, I live in a modular on a cement base. I have no basement. It was, you know, 1:45, so Walmart's not open. The only thing that I could think of to do is to go to Circle K And lo and behold, Circle K was closer to the devastation than I was. So Emmanuel Baptist in Corbin is gathering stuff for tomorrow. Okay, there's another one. And it was crazy to me because I left my house and I was just going to go to Kohl's, and I'm driving down my street. So I pull off my little dead end street and I get onto my more major street. And I barely make it around the corner and I start seeing like siding and insulation. And I'm like, boy, that's a little close. I wonder, that's a lot of wind. I wonder that's pretty close. And then I saw that cops were not letting people into the subdivision. And I'm like, what is going on? So I'm driving and I start seeing more siding and more insulation and more debris. And I realized that they're not letting people into the subdivision without asking them if they live there. And I'm like, oh, it must have gotten pretty close to us then, I guess. Well, after I looked at the aerial drone footage, by the time it was done, it had gotten to be a half mile from my house. And my husband, Mr. Nothing will hit us. Everything is fine. You're good. It ain't going to hit us. It was a half a mile from the house. Like, I am so our pine tree fell down, but apparently it fell a direction we don't need to worry about. We were worried, I had heard my siding start to make noise last night. Because there's a part of my siding that's wonky, and I heard it creaking, and I thought, wow, that's something. But, these people that are getting in my videos and they're like, oh, well, we heard the siren. We heard the siren. If you could hear the siren, you were not near the place, because I'm telling you, I was a half a mile to 3 miles away from where it hit, and I could not hear a siren. There was no siren. We had the window open I had the window open from 11:20 when I got the alarm. I opened it at 11:20 and I didn't shut it till 3:30 in the morning. We never heard nothing. Never heard nothing. We had our ears plastered to that freaking window. We never heard nothing. And these people are arguing with me in my video. They're like, it went off an hour beforehand. I didn't even get a warning on my phone until 11:20, and you're telling me that the sirens were going off at 10:45 in town, which was like 5 miles from where it hit. Like, that don't even make sense to me. That doesn't even make sense. Like, why would you sound a warning alarm a half an hour before it was spotted 5 miles away from where it was hitting? Like, people are arguing with me in the comments, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm telling you, as a person who was there, we could not hear a siren. There was not a siren to be had. Now, at one point, my husband could have swore, he said that he thought he heard a siren like really, really far away. And I tried to listen and I couldn't hear anything. I kept telling him it was the fan. I kept telling him I thought it was the fan. I didn't hear nothing. And I don't know these people that are like, I had 2 different people come in and they're like, we heard the siren. Well, that's great for people in London City where it didn't touch. But for the people in Sublimity where it decimated their homes, I can tell you, as a person that was pretty close, I couldn't hear no siren. We had our windows open, waiting to hear a siren. I'm from Michigan. Okay. I had school canceled once because of funnels, because of water spouts out on Lake Erie. Okay. I'm used to tornadoes. I'm used to warnings. We would have 5 warnings a summer. I mean, it's something I grew up with being scared of, because my mom had instilled in me this fear of tornadoes. So Kentucky is very strange to me. When I found out today, after I made that video about, I said, we had no warning. The sirens didn't go off. We have 1 siren in town. I'm like 5 miles from the town center. I ain't going to hear that. I know they all think they're meteorologists. Yeah, tornadoes in Michigan ain't no joke. Neither was the one down here, I can tell you that. And it's weird because, like, my husband's always like, well, it's not flat here. We should be fine. I will tell you, the place that was hit was flatter than, how do I say this? So when it ended up in the Oaks down here, that's when it started getting hillier, and it like stopped there, because I'm in a more hillier area. But where it hit was pretty flat. It was pretty flat. Yeah, there's one siren in all of London. One siren downtown. I don't even know where it is. It just says it's in downtown. And that they test it they say that they test it every day at noon. I've never heard it. Ever. Ever. But there's one downtown. That was gonna do nothing for people out here. I live right outside the city limits, and I didn't hear nothing. It wasn't gonna help me at all. Didn't help them. And I can tell you that the ones we were getting on our phone were weird because I would get one. And then, like, after X amount of time, my husband would get one, but I wouldn't get one. And then his watch would go off. Then his phone would go off. Then I might get one 5 minutes later. So if it was hit or miss in the same house, I can only imagine how hit or miss it would have been in multiple houses, because there was also people in videos saying that their phones never went off. And I can believe that because we were not always getting alerts at the same time. Sometimes we did, but there was at least 3 times where his watch was going off and my phone wasn't. And I said that I was like, why are you getting all these alerts and I'm not? Like, if I was home alone, if he was working last night, like he should have been, yesterday was his day off. If he had been working last night, I would have gotten half the alerts he did. There was no storm really at the time that it started. I wouldn't have probably taken it very seriously. Although I probably also would have left and went to the gas station because I am paranoid. Hold on. Not everyone in the community is watching the news. Right. Okay. So that's another thing. So one of the other things that was irritating me about in the comments, which, by the way, somebody put up a video and they were like, siren, blah, blah, blah. They were like, sirens went off and blah, blah, blah. And they were talking about how there was cuts to Doge and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, she's like, I'm not even from Kentucky. I'm like, then don't say the sirens went off, because the sirens, the siren went off did not help these people. I'm telling you that right now. But people are like, well, they've been talking about it all week. How did you not know? If they've been talking about it all week, how did you not know it was going to be this bad? Because every time there's a storm front in Kentucky, they tell you the worst is going to happen. Just like I get flood warnings, I am not kidding you, 3 times a week on my phone. You never know what one is accurate because they're for big areas. So it will tell me I'm under a flood warning and it is not raining. So you never know what area it is they are trying to actually tell you. Yes, exactly, Jade. So, people are like, well, they've been telling you this for weeks. 5 days now, they've been telling you. First of all, tell who, what, where, because I don't watch. Well, I'm just supposed to be captivated. Like, that's not how life is anymore. I don't have cable. So no, I did not know. Okay, let's just go down the line. I don't work, so I can't get my news from work or people I work with. I don't have cable. I don't pay attention to a lot of shit. So no, I had no idea these storms were going to be that bad. I had no idea the storms were going to be this bad. And they always say it's the worst ever. Every storm front, it's going to be the worst ever. Every flooding, it's going to be the worst ever. And it's Chicken Little down here. It is Chicken Little. They tell you it's always so bad all the time. You don't take it into consideration. You don't actually take it seriously because the last 8 times was a lie. Exactly, Michelle. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. Like, we were under, I don't even know, were we under even a watch? I didn't think we were under a watch at the time. I don't think we were under a tornado watch. Thinking about it. Literally, we just had a warning. I don't even think we had a watch. I mean, we may have, but I don't remember having a watch. I think that's why it was so weird when I came across my phone, because it wasn't even, there was some lightning. And then we're sitting there and, I'm waiting for this like big, huge, scary storm. And there was never a big, huge, scary storm. There was a lot of lightning. There was rain, but nothing that bad, to be honest. The wind wasn't wild. There was hail after the tornado had already left, apparently, because the hail came a little bit later. There was hail for a short bit, but not very long, maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And That was it. Like I expected it. I have been in storms 10,000 times worse than the one last night. 10,000 times worse. Benton was hit. I don't even know where Benton is. But I can tell you, are you talking about for in Kentucky? Because literally London and Somerset were the ones that got hit. Somerset got hit by one and London got hit by one. This is why you live in northern Kentucky. You know they can hit anywhere, right? They can hit anywhere. Okay, I'm gonna head out, but I'm glad you're speaking your mind because we need more from those helping. Yeah, I wish I wish that there was some place I could do. I wish there was something I could do. I really do. Like I want to help somewhere. I want to do something. I just don't know what the hell there is to do or even where I would look to help people. I really wish I could go do something, help something. Like I wanted to get out of my car and just help people start digging through rubble. Like I was too busy crying, but I mean, other than that, I wanted to just like I wanted to stop and like say I was sorry to like every person I passed. Honestly, if it was hit, it's 8 hours from where you are at. I have no idea. Um, right. That's what I was thinking. The hail happened after, as far as I was aware. It was kind of it was kind of a blur, but I know that when he had shoved me into the shower, that was when it was hitting. Oh, and I only found that out after the fact because I was complaining to his mom. I was on the phone with his mom and I was complaining to his mom about the fact that her son doesn't take anything serious, but he did think to shove me in the shower about 10 to 12. And then I remembered in the article that I read that it said that that one part of the place had been hit at 10 to 12. And I was like, oh my God, maybe he really did hear whatever he thought he heard. And I will tell you that for anybody who's ever been in any type of a tornadic experience, and if you've never been in one, you're not going to know what I'm talking about. And I can only say this because it happened before, and then it happened last night. There's atmospheric changes in your hearing and your vertigo, and things did feel a little weird before shit hit the fan. When I was in Michigan, we had a tornado hit in Dundee, and it was coming down M50, and I guess it was going up by the time it got anywhere near us. So like we were okay. But the sirens were going off and we went in the bathroom and we shut the door and we were sitting in the bathroom and the door started doing this, banging against the jam. It was going like this, rattling, and you just felt like your ears were gonna like just pop. And then the transformer outside my window blew. And that was from it going back up in the sky and then the pressure stabilizing and stuff. But there was a feeling that I got when all this was going on of the weird vertigo feeling, the weird like unreal weightlessness feeling. Like I did feel that yesterday. I'm not sure where in that it lied that happened, but I did feel it at one point, which I thought was weird. But I don't, it's not a good feeling, I can tell you that. Yeah, see it, like we heard noise, like I heard noises, but I don't know, I never knew what I was supposed to be listening for is part of the problem, because I thought I heard the train. That's what I kept listening for. I kept listening for the train, and I thought before everything hit the fan, I thought that I was hearing it. And I kept asking him, what are you listening? What are you listening for? What do you hear? And he's like, I'm listening. I'm listening. And I'm like, what are you listening to? Because I keep thinking that I'm hearing it, but I'm also paranoid. So I didn't know if I actually heard it or if I was thinking I was hearing it. And to today, I don't know. I don't know if I did hear it or if I thought I heard it or if I imagined it or what, but I know that I thought I heard something at that point, and I kept asking him what he was listening for. And then he said, this is it. Get into the bathtub. This is it. Go, 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 go. And so I went. And that's apparently when it was. So I don't know if I was just thinking I was hearing stuff. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I wish that wasn't quite as much of a blur as it is, but it is. You're getting on my nerves. Knock it off. So, but going out today and seeing how bad everything was. I mean, it's literally like and then, I see this drone footage and I see these videos. I see these videos from other places that had come in with drones, and it looks even worse from up high. Like it looks bad on the ground. Like it looks bad when you're looking at it, but it looks even worse from up here because they can see things even better than I can. And like the drone footage is like even worse. And you can actually see like the trail it took with the drone footage. You can actually see like the absolute path, and it's wild to me. And I just kept thinking, oh my God, that was so close. That was so close. Like it was so scary when I left my house and I was already seeing debris, and that my house is fine. And I'm like super, super freaking thankful. And there was a couple houses in that mess that were still standing. And I was like, wow, those people are really lucky. My husband's like, I don't think anybody's lucky. I'm like, okay, I get that, but like there was levels, and like on one of the houses there was a car flipped over on top of the house. And the debris, it's the thing is, okay, so I pull out here and then I got to go around a corner, and then then it's a straightaway to that subdivision. So there's a corner beforehand. So the debris, now my neighbor right next to me, she has debris in her front yard. I'm tucked behind her. So she told me that she did have debris in her front yard, but I didn't have any in mine because my house is behind hers. So hers kind of caught the debris. I didn't have any debris in my yard. But there's insulation, which I have some of my insulation out because my goats pulled some of the insulation out of my house, which was great. But, I just, to think it was that close and how scared that I was with it being that close. I can't even imagine the people that went through it and was there and had that happen. Like when you look, the only thing I kept thinking was when I'm driving through this neighborhood is where did they go? Because there was about a dozen to 2 dozen fatalities. And looking at the neighborhoods that I was in, if people were in these houses, where did they go? Because these houses are like destroyed. So where did they hide? No, Manchester didn't get one that I'm aware of. No, it was Somerset and London that got them, as far as I'm aware. I could be wrong, but I did see something about something close to Hazard though. It was in London, Kentucky, Somerset, Kentucky, southeastern Kentucky, and but yeah, it went right behind the airport, our little airport, and like the little airports. We had one of those, and I didn't even realize there was a whole subdivision back there. I had no idea. We turned down there, and the next thing you know, we see this whole subdivision. Yes, Jay Harding, I completely agree. I mean, especially because I found the video, my friend posted a video of the people that were trying to help at the pet store. And there's a whole video of them going through this pet store, and it's, midnight. It was like right after it happened. And it was, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and the pet store has been smashed. I mean, it is the damage to this place is wild. There's no roof, and they were going in there, and all the cages are, the gerbil cages are they're all bashed in, and the bird cages are flipped over, and there's puppies walking around, and and they were in there trying to secure these animals because it's the pet store is right on a major road, so they were trying to like get all the animals together, so they not only were they not being hit or whatever and salvaged, but not to also get run over out in the road or whatever. I had no idea that the pet store was hit until a little bit earlier. Somebody had asked about the pet store, and I'm like, oh, they're fine, like the one is over there. Like I didn't even think about that, and they were like, no, it's gone. And I was like, what do you mean? And I went and looked it up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I, like I said, I had just got my birds there last week, and we just got some fish there. We just got some fish and a couple of birds there last week. I just got the other two birds. What was it, like 4 days ago? It was like 4 days ago. Thanks, Jess. I appreciate you. Um, and I think there's still one or two of their big birds missing. I haven't got to get the update on that, but they did. As far as I'm aware, they only found one deceased animal. I guess one deceased big animal, but they most of the animals are accounted for. So I mean that's good. But I guess they had to kind of stop looking and whatever because there was so much other stuff going on, and I don't know if they're going to be able to rebuild or you have friends who are in a subdivision over from the one that was demolished. Yeah, I was definitely very lucky, brown eyed. Yeah, we're okay. My husband, my husband, my stuttering got really activated after I seen everything, and I couldn't get my words out. I kept stuttering really bad, and he asked me where I wanted to go for food, and I couldn't get my words out. And he's like, "Look, I need you to focus. This didn't happen to you." Like, I was like, "But it still bothers me." He's like, "It doesn't matter. I need to know what I'm doing." And I'm like, "It didn't happen to me. Thank God it didn't happen to me." But it's that whole. It was that close to me, like that close, like a turn of the wind. What? 3 more minutes on the ground, and like it's that just barely escaped type deal. Yeah, I heard that we're supposed to get some more stuff in the next couple days too. I'm just hoping it's not going to be, horrible, crazy again. I'm really hoping because I don't feel like anybody that just went through that deserves to go through it all again. You know what I mean? I hope that it's just regular storms and nothing, super awful because these people are obviously traumatized enough. They don't need anything else. And I don't think I can handle anything like that right now. So, yeah, our passes by. That's the weirdest thing is I'm watching the storm last night and it was like, oh, it's coming from Somerset. And I'm watching it and it was going to go up north of us. And the next thing I know, I don't have any electric and I can't get the radar to update. So I have no idea what's going on. But the one that hit us was just a little bit south of us. And I didn't even see that one on the radar. I seen the one coming from the west and it was going north, but I didn't see it. It must have divvied at the last second, right when I lost power, because there should have been nothing where this storm hit. That's the other really weird thing. Um, when I was tracking the storm on the radar, it shouldn't have been where it was. So it must have decided to turn at the last second or something, is the only thing that I can figure. Yeah, I mean, I thought I heard something, but it wasn't loud like that. It was like it was in the distance because obviously it was. It was 3 miles away, but it sounded like something weird. It sounded like something weird, but not weird enough that I knew. You know what I mean? Because where it was 3 miles away, so obviously I'm not going to hear it like you'd hear it. So to this, I can't tell you if I was imagining it or not because I was so jacked up. I was pacing, just pacing like I do. And I was imagining all sorts of stuff. So it could have been in my head of, do you hear it? Do you hear it? Do you hear it? Do you hear it? And maybe I didn't hear anything. But while I was thinking I was hearing something, he suddenly said, okay, this is it, get in the shower. So he must have heard something that I thought I was hearing because that's when he told me to get in the shower and that's when everything happened. So yeah, I didn't see okay, the news. The news that doesn't tell me nothing. What news? What news? What news was I supposed to watch? Because I don't have cable. I don't Every storm that ever comes through is always the worst one ever. Chicken Little Sky falls too much in Kentucky. Everything is the worst thing ever. I don't know what news I was supposed to be watching because I actually didn't hear shit about shit. Honestly, I didn't hear. I heard we were getting some storms. I hear that every 3 days. We're getting some storms. We're getting some storms. I did not hear anything about them being exponentially bad. I've seen bigger, more coverage on other storms. I didn't hear shit about this. Yeah, I heard somebody say something about Ryan Hall. I don't know who that is, but his name came up quite a bit in the videos I was watching. His name came up quite a bit. I don't know who that is, but I'm not a big watcher of content, honestly. I don't watch a lot of content. I stay to myself, so like I'm not very well informed. I don't immerse myself in things that are of the world. So I had no idea. I had no idea. He goes live and the weather's severe. Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's that. I will know that for next time. I will know that for next time. Okay. I will definitely pay attention to that for next time. People were saying his name came up a lot, and I don't know who that is, but I will definitely remember that for next time. But again, what it boils down to is when my electric went out, I lost everything. I couldn't load anything. I could not get anything. My electric went out and it was done. My phone was a brick. I couldn't get nothing to load. I couldn't see nothing. My phone was a brick. So it didn't even matter if I had seen this, who this Ryan person is, because the second my lights went out, my booster stopped working and my phone was a brick for the next 15 hours. You can ask people that I was trying to text. I couldn't get a hold of nobody for 15 hours. I had to leave my house just so I could make a phone call. Oh, that would have been great, Redhead. That would have been great. That would have been great. This happened in Kentucky. This happened in Kentucky last night. That would have been great. Now, I will tell you this, in the alert that I got to my phone, it kept saying Levi State Park, Levi State Park, Levi State Park, which, of course, freaked me out because that's a mile from my house, about a mile and a half from my house. And so I was stripping out. I'm like, that's really close. That's too close for me. And it went through there, but they didn't actually talk about the fact of the airport or whatever. It was saying that it was going to go through Levi, but it had to go through that whole subdivision before it hit Levi, and that's what happened. It didn't say anything at that point. My friend is in Ohio, and she had some crazy weather happen in Ohio too. And so she thought we were having this. She's like, we're probably pretty close because like our electricity went out almost at the same time. Her electricity went out 10 minutes before mine did. And I'm like, no, I'm like 5 hours from you. And we still don't know what the hell happened to her house. We had some loud thunder, but like it wasn't, I don't know, there was a lot of lightning. There was a lot of lightning and there was some pretty good booms, but like there was not a lot of rain, and it hailed for just a second. It didn't hail very long. Maybe 3 minutes, maybe. Sis! Enough. But like the storm wasn't that bad. Like the actual storm itself really wasn't that bad. Yeah, my dogs are losing their noodle right now. But yeah, so definitely one of my scary moments. I mean, that's something that I never want to experience that closely ever again. Like that was too close for me, and I was very, very, very blessed to not have it hit me. It was close by me, and that was more than that's the closest I ever want to get to something like that. That was too much. I don't want to I don't ever want to be near that again. I don't ever want that again. No. Yeah, I'd finally gotten my service back when I texted you. Um I can't even imagine what the people that were affected are feeling like, because just seeing it shook me, and living it would be a whole nother, like, I don't know how they're dealing. I really don't, because like I was not okay just witnessing it, let alone actually living through it. Like I can't even That had to be so terrifying. You know, so whatever God you believe in, say something for the people of Kentucky tonight, because the fact that even if we, the part that the scariest part was, we get, I had 17 minutes essentially. At 17 minutes, I got a warning. And from what I understand, it hit 17 minutes later. So I had 17 minutes to get up, function, and find shelter in a place where I have no basement and there's no stores open around me. Like, that's not easy to do. That, we don't have storm shelters, we don't have basements. Walmart's closed, everywhere was closed. The only saving grace I could have possibly had was a gas station, which was closer to the devastation than I was. So, I mean, people are like, oh, you had plenty of time. You had plenty of time. No, like, I got a message on my phone where it wasn't even storming. 17 minutes later, shit's getting real. And I just kept saying, well, I want to go to the gas station. And he's like, you can't leave. He's like, you don't know where it is. You can't get in a car. You can't be in a car because, like, what if it comes? And I'm like, well, I'd rather go somewhere where I feel like I'm in a safe place. It's okay, Audra. It's simple. Either I'll see it or I won't. Do I live near a police station? No. No. The closest thing to me that was open, like I said, was a gas station that was closer to the devastation area than I was. So that probably wouldn't have been the best idea for me to do to begin with, because I would, and the shittiest thing is, how's this for you? So I can't turn left off the street. So I would have went through Levi Park to go to Circle K probably. And that's where a bunch of the problem was. So I could have driven right into it. So it's probably a good thing my husband talked me out of it. Thank you, Casey. Because I don't turn left off that road. So I go the long way. And the long way would have taken me through Levi, which I wouldn't have done to begin with because it said it was going to Levi. So I would not have been that stupid. But that's what I would have done on a normal day, was to go through Levi. And Levi is not good either. There was live wires when I drove through there. That was something. But yeah, that's what I did. My right here, I had a double stall shower, and I grabbed me and my geriatric dog because she's the easiest to grab, and I went in the shower and we put the blanket over the doors. That's the only thing that I could do. So that's what I did. Hey, Inger. So, but looking at these houses, I don't know where these people were. These people that made it out, I don't know where they were, because I'm looking at these houses and they're just destroyed. And I'm like, where were they in these houses? Because there's nothing left of the house. Where were they at? Because they didn't have basements. Not that I'm aware of over where those were. I don't think they had any basements. And if they did, they were lucky, because basements aren't really a thing in Kentucky. We have clay and all that stuff, and they had to be very lucky. Very lucky. Yeah, put them in car seats. Yeah, I've heard of that. If you have kids, put them in car seats. Yeah, I mean, I was sitting here. The dogs were following me around a lot, and a lot of them followed me to the bathroom, but I grabbed Sissy because all the other ones fight me when I pick them up. So I grabbed Sissy, and me and Sissy went in the shower, and the rest of the dogs kind of followed me in there, but they weren't in the actual shower itself. So you're in Winchester and you're hurt. Oh, thank you, Ashton. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. It stopped a half a mile from my house. It stopped a half a mile from my house. So I am, the worst that happened to me was my electric went out for like 15 hours. Like, and I was like, I ain't gonna be mad about that. I'm like, I'm probably gonna lose everything in my freezer. Do not care. Do not care. I was like, if they need 3 days to get my electric back on, then they need 3 days to get my electric back on. I was like, look, we're gonna go through the blessings here. I said, it's not the middle of winter. So it's not I'm not going to freeze. I have a house, so I do not care if I lose the contents of my freezer. And everything is fine, and I am safe. So I did not care that I did not have electric. We got in the car, we charged our phones. My husband was going to take my vape batteries to work with him and charge them. I was going to put in new batteries. He was going to take my vape batteries with him to work and charge them in the truck. I charged up my brick, which is how I charged my phone last night. I have a big brick, an insane brick. I can charge my phone like 7 times. I charged up my brick. I charged up my phone, and I was ready to sit in the dark until they decided to put my electric back on. I was not going to be bitching about my electric being off. I had a house. I did not care. You can take my electric. Like, I ain't even about to be complaining that it's hot and I don't have electric when I'm looking at these people with no house. I was like, take your time, get my electric back on, because I ain't worried about it. It's going to be a puzzle piece. Yep. Yeah. They kept saying that there was a siren. The siren is in the middle of the city, and this hit outside of the city. I'm telling you, as a person who was a half a mile from where it ended, you couldn't hear a siren. I was sitting next to open windows, and you could not hear a siren. At one point, my husband said he thought he heard what sounded like a siren very, 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 very far away, like the next town over. That could have been our siren, but I'm telling you, there is zero way they could have heard it, because I was on the ass end over here, and I didn't hear it. I told him, I was like, I don't hear what you think you're hearing. And the man's deaf, so I don't know how he was thinking he was hearing anything. Where was I? I was in my house. So is FEMA here? And look, there's people helping. I know Andy Bashir's here. He was here today looking over stuff. My husband said he thought there is marks on the buildings, the X's with the times. There is marks on the buildings that have been searched. So I want to think that FEMA's been here, but I don't know. I just know that the governor did come, and I know that the buildings are marked with X's and times, that they've been searched. That's as much as I know. So I'm not sure. What do I think the rating will be? Somebody said it was an E4. It's not an E4. They're actually saying it's not been confirmed that it was a tornado, even though there's video of it. There's videos of these fucking tornadoes that they said are tornadoes. Judging by just from what I seen, but it wasn't on the ground really long. For the area that I saw, it couldn't have been on the ground very long. I'm going to say probably a 2 or a 3. I'm going to say probably a 2 or a 3. I would guess. It's definitely not a 1. It's definitely not a 1. I don't think it was as bad as a 4. I would say somewhere between a 2 and a 3 if I were to guess. So I guess we'll find out. They're still saying that it's not been confirmed. I'm like, are you so for serious right now? Like, there's literally videos of it. Like, what are you even doing? Yes, we have a great governor. We have an amazing governor. He is great. He is blue. He is a blue governor. He's a great governor. He's supposed to be putting his hat in for president next time around. I hope to God he does. I hope he wins. He is a great governor. I've had lots of people seeing in comments that we all deserved this, that Kentucky deserved it. We voted red, and we're in the fuck around and find out stage, and this is what we all voted for. We didn't think it'd be us. And it's like, you do realize that 35% of Kentucky did not vote for him, correct? And I am one of them. And even then, I don't feel like that should have been a death sentence for people. Like, do I agree with people that voted for Trump? No. Do I think you should die because of it? Again, no. So, I mean, to see people writing stuff like that just irritates me. I had somebody, they were like, well, you voted for it. I was like, first of all, I voted blue. She said, well, you live in a red state. I said, you know what? What does that matter? That doesn't mean anything. The weather isn't the government's fault. No, you're right. It isn't. But you know what is? When DOGE decided to cut some of the National Weather Society, that would be the government's fault. Literally. Yeah, we have food. You've been in an F5? Ooh. I don't ever want to ever that was too close for me. I don't want to ever be near. Mm-mm, nope. I don't ever want to see this ever again. This was terrifying. This is something that my mom has like installed a fear in me from the time I was like born. Like this was too much for me. I don't ever want to go through something like this again. This was too close for me. I don't want to. That was enough. I'm good. Take it back. I don't want it ever again. That was too much. Hey, knock it off. Tap tap tap. I'm good. I don't know how people can live in Tornado Alley. Like, I will never understand how people can live in Tornado Alley because I am not okay. Nope. We had a lot of because I lived on Lake Erie. So we would get a lot of water spouts. We would get a lot of tornadic activity in Michigan. But this is the closest I've ever seen something like this. And I don't ever want to see it again. I can tell you that. No, thank you. No, thank you. What? Do you guys want drinks? Here. All right. They wanted a drink. They wanted a drink. All right. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Then people are like, why don't you take it seriously? Well, because it's always there. You know what I mean? So that's the problem. You get desensitized to stuff. Like we get told that there's a flash flood at least 3 times a week on my phone. So you don't actually know when to take it seriously because it's happening every 3 days on your phone. So I could see where people would, hear a tornado siren go off and be like, "Oh, it's a Tuesday, it's fine," and then have something horrible happen. It is. It's like crying wolf. Like I literally got while I was in the middle of the tornado warning last night, I got a flash flood warning. It wasn't even raining that much outside. Wasn't even raining, and I got a flash flood warning. So it's like you never know when to actually take it seriously. Um, I don't think there was an F5 in Somerset. I don't think it was an F5. I just don't. F5, yeah, y'all. F5s are nothing to fuck with. F5s are Joplin. Joplin was an F5. Okay, if it wasn't a one, but I would figure maybe like a two or a three. Um, if it made it to a four, maybe it's worse than what I thought. I don't know, but I mean, F5, that's like Joplin level. Um, I can't imagine it being that way. Some of them farther west were categorized as F2 or F3, but not here yet. Yeah, they're still saying that they don't know if it's been a tornado yet, even though there's video of they're just like, yeah, we don't know if it was or not. I'm like, are you serious? Like, there is a whole subdivision gone, so I'm gonna venture to gain that was definitely a tornado. But you'd think it's been almost 24 hours. It'll be 24 hours here in about another hour. So I'm thinking maybe by sometime tomorrow, maybe we'll have a better idea of exactly what happened. Um, there's a couple different videos of mainly the one in Somerset. There was I could have swore there was a picture, at least a picture of the one in London, but I've seen videos and stuff of the one in Somerset. Yeah. Well, nobody could hear the siren. And the people that needed to hear it couldn't hear it. And the people that are, being whatever in my comments are like, oh, well, we heard the siren. You hearing it does not help the people that needed to hear it, because the people that needed to hear it were too far away from the siren for it to help them. But I will tell you this: if anybody tells you that we were not warned, we were on our phones. I got warnings on my phone. I did. I just and it's my town's fault for having one siren. We have one siren, and that is my town's fault. We should have more than one siren, in my opinion. Um, but we did. We got them on the phone. They were not always sent out at the same time because me and my husband were getting them at different times. Sometimes I would get one. Sometimes we would both get one. Sometimes his watch would get one, but our phones wouldn't. So I can only imagine what other houses went through. Yeah, I have no idea. I just know what I seen, but like I don't I don't know. I guess part of me wants to think that maybe it wasn't as bad, but like looking at, I mean, I don't know. I guess because okay, so I've seen, but then again, I will tell you this, in the drone footage, it looks like things are a lot flatter than they do when you're driving around. When you're driving around, there's still houses that are up and just like a lot of stuff. But when you're looking at the drone footage, it looks very flattened. No, my house is fine. It stopped a half a mile from my house. There's debris in my neighbor's yard. Not my yard, because my yard's behind her yard. Um, but oh there was a lot of debris. I have a video up on this account. You can go look at the video on this account. Um, I have a video of the subdivision I went through that was leveled pretty good. And but the drone footage looks different than what I saw. You just got your electric on? Yeah, we got our electric on probably 5 hours ago, 5, 6 hours ago. I want to say I came home around 5 and our electric was on. So we got ours probably about 4 or 5 o'clock. I was more than willing to be without electric. There was 53,000 people that didn't have electric, and I really didn't care if I had electric because I had a house. I was happy that I had a house. And if I didn't have to have electric, then I didn't have electric. I have candles. I would have survived. That's what I did last night. I lit a candle. Hey! Knock it off. They want in, they want out. They want in, they want out. Okay, let's see. So my cousin's house is gone and they lost everything by Levi Jackson. Yeah, that's the subdivision that I was talking about. Yeah. Levi's here, and then the subdivision was back there by the plant Mana, whatever plant, by the airport. Yeah, Levi don't look too good either. Levi's not looking very good either. And the gym over there was messed up, and yeah, it's bad, Kentucky. I made the very stupid mistake of driving into a subdivision that I did not realize did not exist anymore. We were just following a road. We were like, "Oh, hey, look, there's some debris. We'll go down this road." And the road, because I'm not from here, so I don't know everywhere. And so we were just following a road. We were like, "Oh, hey, there's some stuff on here. Let's see what." And it took us into like a subdivision type situation, and we actually dead end and we had to turn around. We were actually following a cop, and the cop also had to do it because I don't know what he was doing, but we were following the cop, and then the cop turned around and we turned around, and I didn't realize we were going where we were going because I don't know that area. And but yeah, we were in somewhere and we had to actually turn around and come back out, and it was a disaster. So, but that was I don't ever want to go through something like that again. That was terrifying. I can't even, for everybody that was over there, I just like I was just crying the whole time I was in the car, just looking at these people. They were just like, I felt like everybody was like in shock. I don't know. I felt like everybody was just in shock. Like people were just standing around. Just there was the one thing that stood out to me though. We were driving back out, and there was a girl, and she was carrying around a framed picture. Didn't look like anything important, just a framed picture, and she's just carrying around a framed picture. And it reminded me of all of those. It reminded me of every time you've ever heard of a disaster movie where somebody is just walking around with a picture. And that's exactly what she was doing. She was just walking around holding a picture. And I looked up to where her house should have been. And she's just walking with a picture. And I know that that's a sense of comfort for some people, is finding something in the wreckage that means something to them. And I just hope that that gave her comfort, because she was just holding on to this picture. And there was a lot of things that I seen that I wish there was another one. They said that they found a body in their yard, and like, and for people to be like, oh, you voted for this. Nobody voted to die, dude. Like, most of the people that voted for this shit were too stupid and were not informed enough to vote correctly, in my opinion. And you guys can take whatever I say however the hell you want. I think a lot of people were just stupid and didn't do their whatever, but I don't think anybody, I don't care how much I don't like you or I don't like Trump, I don't feel like people need to die over things. I just don't. I've been drinking water. I've been drinking water. I don't have any left. What I did have is on my shirt. So, but he's like, are you going to be all right? And I'm like, yeah. He thought I was going to come home to no electricity. I was like, I'll just sit in the dark all night. I was like, I got candles. I'll be all right. I have a partially charged phone and some candles. I'll be fine. But we came home and the lights were on. I was checking for outages, and it said there was no outages in my area. And I'm like, wait, what? I was like, so we have power at home? He's like, yeah, we'll wait to see when we get home. And I had turned on my birds before I left. And when I came home, the bird light was on. And I was like, oh, I guess we do have power. So I made him a sandwich for work, and he left for work, and he's on his way to deliver in Tennessee. And I'm here by myself. And yeah. I don't ever want to see something like that again. I don't ever want to see something like that again. Yeah, it was weird that I got those birds like 4 days before the bird room was smashed. Yeah, I thought that was really weird, because I just got those birds, the other two birds, like 3 or 4 days ago. I was just there, and I saw a video of the bird room, and everything was all knocked over and everything, and yeah, it's pretty weird. I thought about that today. I was like, wow, it's a good thing I went and got those birds. So I feel bad for them, though. I mean, they had just got that store up and going. It was doing great. It was a real benefit to the community, and it's toast. I seen the videos of the store. It's bad. I'm hoping that they'll rebuild, but I don't know how long it would take or whatever. I'm hoping that they rebuild. I mean, it was really good. It was a good store for the community, and I hope they rebuild, but I don't know if they will. So I've been trying to see if anything else was going on. There's not been a lot of updates, honestly. There was the update that it happened, and there was the update once or twice of like how many fatalities, but like they're not updating it very often. We still don't know what category it was. We don't know the actual total death count. We don't have all the answers yet, but I'm figuring probably tomorrow or something, I would figure, but it's not going to bring back what people lost, that's for sure. I just hope people had their houses covered and they can find some things, and I hope that people didn't lose a lot of animals. And I don't know, man. It's gonna fuck me up for a while, I can tell you that. Sky didn't have a green tent. Sky did not have a green tent. It was too dark. Couldn't see anything. There was no green. I'm telling you, I was looking for it. It was too dark. There's nothing. There's not been anything said about what it actually was yet. I've also heard somebody said that there was 1,000 people missing. There's only 7,500 people in this entire town. I don't listen to anything before it is put out, because I literally, somebody came up to me and said, I heard there was 1,000 people missing. There's only 7,500 people in this whole fucking town. That's not correct. So I'm gonna wait and see what they say officially before. I'm not gonna. I don't want to guess. I don't want to listen to what people think things might be. They're fine. So I guess the only partially lucky thing was it doesn't seem like it was on the ground very long. Good night. It doesn't seem like it was on the ground very long. A lot of it is confined to a pretty, I've heard of ones go for miles and miles and miles, and this one, it looks like it was about 3 miles. So it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, so I guess like it could have been on the ground longer, which would have been really bad for me, because if it would have been any longer, it would have hit my house. But I'm gonna need therapy after this. I need therapy anyway. I'm gonna need therapy after this. But I just wanted to come live and talk to you guys about, what happened. And I had people messaging me asking, oh, I see in Kentucky, are you okay? And there was 3 that hit the ground. Well, yeah, because there was one in Somerset, and then there was the one in London. And then I heard something was going towards Hazard. I saw that in an article, something was going towards Hazard. That was the only time I'd ever heard about that. But, yes, my animals acted strange. They were, they started right before I went into the shower. They were, barking randomly, like they're doing right now. Hold on. Oi! Come on, sissy. Come on, sissy. Come on, sissy. Yeah, they started, they were being, real quiet and good. Then all of a sudden they just started barking really crazy beforehand. And they did that twice. And then shit hit the fan. Well, I mean, we had one that said it stopped. We said it stopped at midnight. Then we had one that said it stopped at 12:30, and then it said it stopped at 1. So I think it was just the fact they kept pushing it out. I don't think it was necessarily that. I think it was just they kept pushing it out, because ours just kept getting pushed out. So I don't think that we were under, X amount. I just think that they just kept pushing it out, which is really weird, because when I was in the shower, and it was apparently hitting, and I did not know this till later. It was weird because he goes, oh, well, it's off at midnight. And I was like, well, that's 5 minutes from now, so I guess we're fine. And then his watch went off again. back to back. It said 12 and then 12:30. So I don't know if they fucked up or whatever, but he put me in the shower and then it said 12 and then 12:30, like within 30 seconds of each other. So, um, but yeah, like now I don't know, man. I'm gonna need therapy after this. Oh, I laugh, but I'm pretty serious at this point. This is one of those like scenarios you never ever 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 want to see or be a part of, or even on the peripherals of being a part of. It just like it hit way too close to home. Way too close to home. And it's just like that's too much. Yeah, it was. Three separate radar indicated rotations. Oh wow. Yeah, see, I lost power. I didn't, I went from tracking the storm obsessively to losing my power and I couldn't get anything to load and that was the worst half an hour. And that was from the time that it hit until a little bit after cuz we lost power probably 10 minutes before it hit. From what I'm seeing from where everybody else said what time it like hit there. It We lost power about 5 minutes before I went into the shower, and that's about what time it was hitting, and that's when we lost the power. And then I kept trying to track the storm afterwards, and I couldn't get anything to load. I couldn't get nothing. I had no cell coverage at all. My phone was in SOS mode, so I couldn't do anything. It was just an SOS mode. It wasn't doing cellular data. It wasn't doing Wi-Fi data. It wasn't doing any data. It was a brick. I'm sorry to hear that, Elizabeth. I'm sorry to hear that, Devil. I'm from Michigan, so I totally understand. I used to get them all the time in Monroe. I don't know, man. The school said that they had like 20 cots set up, and then there was a couple other places that were trying to help people out. But looking through there, there's got to be so many families that are going to need help. How have I been? I've been better. My life's been kind of a roller coaster, and last night was not fun, but I'm okay. My family's okay. My pets are okay. My house is okay. It just hit a little too close to home for me. When I can go out and see, debris in the house next to me, that's a little too close to home for me. Um, Scary for sure. Super scary. So, it happened while he was out doing a call. Yeah, I don't know how long this one was on the ground. It went for about 3 miles, I would say, because the really bad stuff was about 3 miles from me, and it was still hit about half a mile from me. So it was pretty close to being on the ground or near the ground or on the ground or whatever for a minute. What's weird though is like it hit Oaks and it hit well Levi, go across there. Okay, yeah, I could see how that could happen. Across there and hit there. Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, there was a fire marshal and he was responding to one of the calls and perished somehow. I did see that in an article, which is sad when somebody's just trying to do their job and something bad happens. I'm on Ryan Lee TM on YouTube for anybody who subscribes on YouTube. So the problem is, Double, is there's only one siren in all of London and it's downtown. That was the problem. I looked up why the sirens didn't go off, and there's one siren downtown in London, and people are saying that it went off. Some idiot said that it went off an hour prior. That's a crock of shit. I didn't even get the warning. for 20 minutes before it hit. But there's only one siren, and it's in the middle of London City, and Sublimity is south of the middle of the city, and I can tell you that I didn't hear it. And I'm half a mile from where it apparently stopped, and I didn't hear a siren. I was sitting next to an open window waiting for a siren, and I never heard one. My husband said at one point he thought he heard one from like towns over, which could have been the one in London. I don't know. I didn't hear it. I told him I thought he was hearing things. So, I don't know. I never thought I would see something like that with my own two eyeballs, so I can tell you that. I really wish we wouldn't have been back there today. I really wish I just, saw the state park and, a, a business, something where people didn't live. Makes it easier, I guess. But seeing all these houses and people and just standing there, like, what are you supposed to do? There was a lot of people standing with other people, though, which was nice. There was some guys standing at the end of the road just acting like it was just another day. And I'm like, bro, your whole neighborhood is like blown to bits, and you guys are sitting here looking like you're at a tailgate. Like, what are you even doing? Like, I literally want to be like, what is wrong with you? Like, they were like, honestly, I was waiting for them to pull out the beers and just sit down in their, tailgate chairs. Like this was just another day. And I'm like, this is not okay. This is not okay behavior. Like, I appreciate you, Devil. I just hope everybody, I mean, we had fatalities, but it could have been worse. It could have been worse. But we had fatalities, sadly, and I feel very bad for them. I just know how scary it was here. So I can only imagine how fucking scary it was for them, and I am going to need therapy. And my husband's not going to understand because he never understands. He thinks I think too much into things. Probably do. Things bother me. I'm a person that's easily bothered. I'm bothered very easily. So it sucked because I was trying to get a hold of people and I couldn't get a hold of people, and then me and Mac were playing like phone tag. Like, she'd have a message come through, and then like 3 hours later I could send one back, and we didn't know when each other was actually trying to. Finally, after I got out of my house and I actually got some phone service, I was able to actually call. Question about my town. What's up? I don't know if I can answer, but maybe I can try. We had some good stuff happen too. Got him a car. Got a good deal on it. Got my bumper fixed. Got my shocks fixed. They told me my ABS light was fixed and it came on today, so I'm going to have to get that fixed again. Nah, my husband's views. If I wasn't in the thick of it, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me. The head of Social Security office there. What? Why would I know about that? There's one. There is one here. Well, it's standing. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you're asking me. It's there. It's standing. It's. I'm not really sure what you're asking. No, the tornado didn't hit it. No, that's on Fifth Street. Tornado was south of London. Got a new tattoo. Thanks. That's not really where you send the paperwork usually. Usually send it to the one in Corbin, just FYI. Did I hear about the 11 inmates that escaped? Where? Where did inmates escape? Not here. Oh, New Orleans? No. Oh, when Annabelle, yeah, didn't some plantation burn down too? We don't normally get a lot of tornadoes in my area. Apparently, the last time one that hit here was in 2012. Yeah, some plantation burned down after Annabelle appeared too. They found 2 of them already. I just heard something about they said that you shouldn't have moved Annabelle, and the plantation went up in flames afterwards. That's the only thing I've heard about Annabelle related. I didn't hear about any inmates escaping or anything, but I did hear that they moved Annabelle and a plantation caught on fire or something. Yeah. If Annabelle comes to Detroit, I'm out. I feel you. I feel you. I got my husband a Detroit hat yesterday. He really wanted a Detroit hat, so I got him one yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I've lived here 6 years and we've never had a tornado event in the 6 years I've been here, which was nice. Which was nice, and now there's this. It wouldn't have been as bad if it wouldn't have been so close to my house. Like for me. Obviously it would have been bad for everybody else. Like don't get it twisted. It wouldn't have been as fucked up for me had I not been sitting here scared to death that what was going to happen to me actually happened like 2 miles from my house. I think that's the part that's fucking with me. Like if it had been on the ground 30 seconds longer, that could have been us. I think that's where I'm fucked up. Like, did it happen to me? No. Could it have happened 30 seconds later? Yes. And I think that's the part that I'm getting stuck on. That's freaking me out. Oh no. No. 2 miles, 2.6 miles is where like the really bad stuff is. It was hit a half mile from my house. If I walk down my street and go around the corner, I can see the debris from the other subdivision that was hit. I can walk to that subdivision. It's a mile up the road from me. Yeah. So, yeah, half mile. Yeah. I think I'm in like survivor shock. Like that was entirely too close. Entirely too close. Like there's debris in my neighbor's yard from this shit. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's why like I'm not functioning correctly. My husband's like, it didn't happen to you. I'm like, 30 more seconds and it could have. 30 more seconds and it could have. It was right there. Like I think that's the reason why I'm tripping. I think that's the reason I'm tripping. Like 30 more seconds, dude. 30 seconds. Yes, I still have my house. Sitting here, I appreciate that, Kate. I appreciate that. Just sitting here thinking like I could only fit me and Sissy in the shower. I had 8 other dogs here. I had all my other animals here. Like, what would have happened to them? What would have happened to my goats or my pigs? What would have happened to my dogs? What would have happened to my cat? Like, I had me and my one dog in the shower with me. Like, I grabbed her and that was it. Like, I couldn't fit 9 dogs in a shower with me. That's not feasible, possible, you know? She didn't have a big ego now. She's going to. She was the only portable one I could grab. Now, to be fair, though, my husband was sitting out in the living room with the boys. I don't know. Pepper kept kind of following me around, but he was sitting with the boys. He was keeping the boys calm. So, I mean, like we were with them, but like safe wise, would they have been safe? No. I mean, I was in the shower. Sissy was in the shower. I could have pulled him into the shower. I did for a second. But like the rest of them weren't. And then what would have happened? I don't know, man. I don't know where Piney Woods is, but I thought I saw it on the map somewhere. I don't know where Piney Woods is, so I can't tell you. I saw that, but I don't know where I saw it at. Can you give me some like roads it's by? Maybe that would help. I'm not from this area, so unfortunately, I don't know the names of things. 558 that go. No, you're good. That's okay, Sam. It's okay. No, like I said, I think that's the part that's. No, you should be fine. That's the part that's tripping me out. Like literally, if it had been on the ground like 30 more seconds, like I don't know how bad it would have been, but it could have. You know, I've seen all the debris that's half a mile from my house. I mean, it could have just done some damage. My house isn't insured very good. I can tell you that. I'm on the worst insurance you can possibly fucking get because I couldn't afford decent insurance. So my house insurance is shit, which is part of the reason I think I'm so fucking terrified right now. Is like that's a huge ass wake up call. The fact that I have shitty house insurance. Because I couldn't afford the good shit, so I went on the bad shit, and I'm just sitting here thinking, oh my God, you know, I would have had nothing. I would have had nothing. And that's like, I ain't gonna be able to get that through his head though. His view is we lived, we're good, it has nothing to do with us. That's typical men for you, I guess. It's not the fact that it happened to us, it's not the fact that like it's the fact of like how scary of how close it was. That's the part that's tripping me out, I guess. Hey. Like obviously that did not happen to us. We are not victims. This did not happen to us. We are not victims. We are okay. We have everything. We are blessed. 30 more seconds and I don't know how it would have been. Like that's the mind frame that I'm in is like we are great, we are blessed, we are so okay. It's, you know, but like 30 more seconds would we have been type deal. So so when he put me in the shower originally, I was in there about 10 minutes and then I got out and then it started and I wandered around a little bit and then it started hailing. And then I went back in the shower for about another 5 or 10 minutes and then I got back out. But I was in the shower apparently when this was supposedly on the ground, I guess. According to everything I've been reading, that's about the time that I was in there. And then I got out and then for absolutely zero reason, apparently, it just started hailing and I started freaking out. I went back in there and then I got back out. So I should have probably stayed in longer, but like I was in there with, it was just me and Sissy and I was and he like left and he did that to me last time when there was a, like our siren went off when I lived in Michigan, our siren went off and he put me in the bathroom and he went outside or went to go outside. Then he came back to me and then the siren went off again and he went to go outside and I made him come in the bathroom and that's when the door went all janky like this and the air pressure changed and I was glad I made him stay in the bathroom with me that second time. So, what's it say? But I'm glad that he had the sense to be like, all right, get in the shower because he was being entirely too nonchalant the entire time. He was like, yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. You'll be fine. Everything's fine. which was frustrating because we were 30 seconds from fine, from not being fine. So, and here I am by myself with my thoughts. Right, Sissy? Sissy nudes. Sissy. This was the angel that was in the bathtub with me. Had her wrapped up in the bathtub with me. She's the only little pork pie I could get. Me and Sissy. Trying to wrangle Pepper was not going to happen. I probably could have grabbed Finnick or Buddy or not Bronx. I could have grabbed probably Buddy or Finnick. But I grabbed Sissy and ran for the shower. She's old. She's like 13. She doesn't run very fast. So I grabbed her. I stuck her. Now, after I got out of the shower, I kept her in the shower for another 20 minutes by herself. I let her just lay in the bath, lay in the shower by herself. It was just Sissy in the shower by herself. Every now and then I hear a little, like, because she wanted out. I didn't care. I was like, you're staying in the shower. I wanted to just grab all the dogs and throw them in the shower, but that was not going to happen, and they would have killed each other in the shower. So, but I got Sissy in there at least. This is a good time to tell you guys I went and saw Final Destination Bloodlines. Let me tell you, I thought I was having a Final Destination moment of my own, driving my car up to get the shocks done, and my ABS light was on, and it was raining, and I was fishtailing all over in a horrible, horrible, horrible storm, way worse than the one we had yesterday. And all the songs were pointing, like, all the songs were telling me, like, to get off the road. So having my own little Final Destination moment. It was awful. It wasn't the fact the sirens didn't go off. The point was there's only one siren in all of London, and it's in the middle of the city. And the actual tornado was south of the city. So I'm telling you as a person that it stopped 30 fucking seconds from my house, a half a mile up the way. I could not hear a siren. I could not hear a siren. I was sitting next to an open window the entire time, and we could not hear a siren. And the actual site was from a mile to 3 miles away from me, and I could not hear a siren. Because it's in the middle of the city, and it was not in the city, it was south of the city. So the plot was good. The plot was good. The movie itself could use some work. The plot was good. And I feel like it ended really abruptly. But, I mean, like, it was probably my least favorite of the franchise, but, like, it had a good plot. I just feel like a little bit more could have been done with it, I guess. That and I chose a really bad time to go to the bathroom. I think that they explained something while I was in the bathroom. But, I mean, the plot was a good plot. I just feel like it ended really abruptly. Like, I felt like there could have been more to the movie, I guess. I don't know. I saw it on Thursday. It came out Thursday. I went and saw it on Thursday. Yeah. And then I went to take my car up there on Friday, and like every song was telling me to get off the fucking road. It was so bad. It was I felt like I was in my own Final Destination movie. It was so bad. I was like, I finally did get off the road at one point. I'm like, I cannot do this. I had to pull over, turned off the car. ABS light goes off. I go up there, they fixed the ABS light, and it came on this morning. They cleaned both my sensors, and the actual line to the ABS was cut, the sensor. So they welded it, they fixed it, they cleaned off the sensors, everything was fine. I got in my car today, and the ABS light came on. And then it turned off again. So it's doing the same shit it was doing before. So I don't know what is going on with it, but I've got to do something with it because it's driving me crazy. And apparently, when your ABS light is on and it is raining, you can lose a lot of traction and die. So I am not looking forward to that again. So I'm probably gonna have to have it go looked at again. I'm all right, Amber. How are you? Yeah, she's perfect. She's down here on the floor now. Right, Noodles? Sissy. Look, she's in my bed. Move her. That's not your bed. That's her bed. She got there first. I'm on Ryan Lee TM on YouTube. If anybody wants to give me a subscribe, I appreciate it. You're watching TV and listening to me? That's cool. I'm tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I went to bed. I laid in the chair from 1 until 3:30 because it said that we could get more storms until 3. So I laid in the chair in the living room next to the open window until 3:30, and then I laid down and I got up on and off about every 2 hours. And then about noon or so, I guess, I got up and had some messages that I couldn't reply to. So that's when I left so I could get some reception so I could get a hold of people because it wasn't sending out my text messages. But I slept on and off for a while. But I kept waking up like every 2 hours. So do I take sleeping medicine or do I have over the counter any I have anxiety meds. I have anxiety meds. I'm all right. I'll be all right. If I wanted to sleep, I could sleep. I'll be okay. Well, I've heard the whole freight train thing before. Whatever it was far away, though. And that's why I think I imagined it. It was far away, but I could have swore I heard it, but I don't know. I'll listen to your video, though. But I think it was just, I think my brain was trying to tell me something, and I think that's why I think I thought I heard it, if that makes sense. I hope not. I think my dreams will be okay, hopefully. My phone battery's on 24%. All right. Well, anyway, you can find me on Ryan Lee TM on YouTube, and you can watch for my videos. I think I'm going to get off here. So I'll see you guys later. I don't know if any of y'all are still here, but I got these pretzels. I got a big old box of pretzels. Look how big these bags are. They give you a lot of pretzels. These are the only ones I've opened. I've opened up these ones and birthday cake. Who knew that Old Bay was actually kind of spicy? You're writing notes on your new job? Still the one you told me about, right? Why would you need notes? You're writing notes about cigars. Surpass your highest league ever to be eligible for 3% more rewards. I was in A3 at one point, so that's not going to happen. Inventory? Gotcha. These are way spicier than you'd think they would be. I've never had anything with Old Bay before. I've heard of it, but I've never actually had it. But this stuff's got a kick. Spicy. Is there anything in here? Oh, red pepper. Red pepper and black pepper. Maybe that's why. The birthday cake ones are good. These are the only two I've opened. I was aiming to get cinnamon sugar, but I was in the middle of a game and I just came in and grabbed it while I was dead. And so birthday cake was on top, so I grabbed birthday cake. I used to cross stitch. My husband liked red pepper on pizza. These have a kick. That's why I was drinking so much water earlier. Like, I'm good with spices, but these have a kick. You get a nice amount in each bag, too. Overall impressed. I haven't made it completely through this first bag yet. I'm kind of scared to try some of the other flavors, not going to lie. Some of the other flavors are pretty fucking scary. This is one of the ones I was looking forward to eating. That's cool, Slando. I can see the end of this bag. I might get there tomorrow. These are spicy. I did a cute cross stitch somewhere. I don't know where I put it, but it was cute. Good night, Audra. Got enough another sitting in here. I ran out of water, so. Don't worry, it's Coke Zero. It's Coke Zero. I'm okay. Somebody messaged me something weird just now. What show are you watching? I have a bunch of shows I need to. I'm still watching The Challenge and MasterChef and Next Level Chef and on. Well, I don't know why Bree's in there allowing her to talk to begin with. Yes, me and Amy have issues. I thought she was talking about someone else, but yes, we have issues. People ask me strangest questions. But yeah. All right. Well, you guys are all being really quiet, and I cannot talk anymore because I have nothing else to say. So I'll see you later.